want to thank a very special guest that's going to be with us this afternoon. We're going to be talking about with Jamie Miller, who is the Assistant Director for the ESL Programming and Services. So we're going to be talking more of a conversation type as I ask her some questions. And Jamie Miller, Assistant Coordinator on ESL Programming and Services Guavialan Chibanco. Alberto Mononowe Maronet Cobado Perem, como Ropuenado, Yumcano Winchetian, Wawen Home, Jamarai Wigin Jalagavi, Malalagavi. So, Jamie, I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions. And the very first one is based on remote learning. And the question is, what is remote learning?
So remote learning is any time that a student is home and completing their work off-site, so they're not at school and they still have the support of their teachers while they are completing their work at home. So it's usually through a computer, and we know that during the ongoing COVID issues that we're having within the district. Maybe, can we restart? I don't want to talk so much about COVID. Okay, Jamie's warming up.
Okay. Okay, go right ahead. My question was, can you explain what is remote learning?
Yes, so remote learning is anytime that learning is off-site, completed at home with the support of our teachers, and it's generally completed with the help of a device as well that our students are sent home with in kindergarten through second. It's with an iPad, and third and up with a Chromebook.
Okay. Ikaw kachi the pantayin remote learning aga uaga ko jiloan riguro pagkata ginchen mo homayer iloan ragirad sa poder chibangerum kanono per kan Chromebook ko aga laptop ko manayer charwali pen riguro mejan kindergarten lang and classroom and when you in me general commonly remote control remote learning iloair Pakada ginchen mo mayer can device minigay me laptop or Chromebook me recharpal him kanono lalim kanono pen ragiroair. So how can you explain to me how does remote learning work?
So students, when they are at school, they are learning how to use the different platforms, the different computer programs that facilitate learning. And in kindergarten through second, that's the Seesaw application. And third through 12th grade generally are using Google Classroom within our schools. So if they're attending in person, they start to learn that. And so then when they are at home learning, they continue to use Seesaw and Google Classroom.
And they we on remote learning charwal a violent platform go a schedule one for one which and by I kata gilo I lale computer and laptop go I kindergarten and class go relale Seesaw Chilulang rally the relale Google Classroom wire in Radu Jonan Chongro relale Schoology. And when we go in me little and relawire pagkada ganim lale kata choir jan device gain I relawan ragi rain chibangayer. Okay. And also do you want to explain the blended learning that they do? Because it says blended learning, it's 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, so students
in person.
So blended learning are the students who they are practicing remote learning already because they attend school either 2 or 3 days a week in person, and then on the days that they are not at school, they are completing all of their lessons through either Seesaw or Google Classroom.
Itailo pero the human remote learning in ever work blended learning room chiluran ranarong nakikita in person at clad ruang chilu Seesaw o chilulang chong ro clad kajarbal Google clad room ho take kajarbal remote ilo para no perilo quarantine. So our next question is, how do parents or students prepare prior to remote learning days to ensure success?
So your students, when they are at school, they are preparing as they use Seesaw, use Google Classroom, and any other computer programs. So they are well acquainted with that. Sometimes students need help remembering, okay, so what I just have practiced at school, now I can do that at home if I am a remote learner.
Migar kachi the gipen Jamie, entre dan parent ro arjuguro kabodir mage moda janayri dong remote learning ran boyem and lale weren lupun tabrak kata ko ay rim renchala tawre kamane meba. Kajay gujin familiarize mage rajay gujin chala kilen kada kan kacojo platform again in right within melale wawin and ajirio najin merong kami nugay depend ragi yo air elang ngay oray kacho ko rabaray wit kacojo program o me available ngan chibang it support there raganan by family goran but stay connected ren kone go depend ron per ren and then merong tabarajiri ro nejir aga chugul ilo chabrod wawin a reaction aga menogo merai gujin kamanim tabarir under the the question that I also asked you, Jamie, it talks about internet access and no internet access. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yes. So if a family is without internet access, the school wants to work with the family to make sure that we can figure that out. Different schools have worked around that in various ways, either finding an internet connection, or some schools are able to preload lessons onto a student's Chromebook or device, and then they are able then to complete their work remotely. Ideally, we want our families to have internet access, and so the best method is for families to communicate with their schools if they need help with internet access.
Yeah, I'm asking her as far as internet access, if somebody internet ilong wawin ben marun komunikata ko anem dan karain pagem ralugun ranay kachiung chimangilo chabro wawin bay ajiri ren marong access ng internet bay pan tabrakata ko ay ralang ay chalok internet mo may remote chab eligligan tabar ragio an rijulo nejem kali karmeni na iguji nambay ilawair kata grum model ya gilo mo may re eja iguji war internet jadi yan ragagi right preload di ligdi karere kada kanalo Chromebook ay raga kada kaya marong pugim marong ay mancha di yan ngay chalaw internet ay kaya wag ay lukun ajiri rin ay ujingan karere kalahole ben kada kaya na ram chojim tabar ragagi rin na mga yoram kachidagi kitchen and war internet nga nam kamanikada kwa milong mayo chapay liglig chejilgun rajang anawale. Kia eor paraino chet mengomi ganan kanono kagi. Jamie, we also have tips for parents, or how can parents create an effective learning environment?
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on that?
I can, and I have 3 sons, and they have been practicing remote learning lately. And so what works really well, even from a teacher standpoint, is creating a plan or schedule together the night before, and having a workspace for your child. We also have to ensure that their devices, their computers are charged up. And we remember, as parents, we want for our children to only use those devices for school. And so we have to watch and make sure that they're not using it just to watch YouTube videos or play video games. And then, of course, we want to turn off distractions. When it is time for schoolwork, we need to turn off the television. If there are other devices, or in my case, if there's a puppy who is a distraction, then the puppy needs to go outside. And then as parents, we need to connect with our children as they complete the work. Just checking in with them and making sure that they are doing the assignments and completing their lessons.
Kachito ga penche mi ga ngai kachito e wa winan jinim jaman ri burone e ja ga chuan chigina kamani kata kena remem mani me chalo distraction e chalo vai kabana na yer kain ga jon roja gu make sure ga em der. And then what I plan, mopelen pone mo dala gu penche rum jiner yan rani peri kan rani kamani kajana lo chuan chigen ngana jiriyo ne jum nganan kamanan kada. Lale way and to buy Johnny with their charge, he may be a young man and German running chuan. He made a mini no the run Kajarabali to buy them. I know the one who wants to run Jabito and what jet side of Kajarabali and Lali run Kajarabal to buy there. I know what money cut acquire. Pune Chabro distraction with TV go mayor, Kuru made you the compar. Padre Patagonia Rilo Mayo, Pune, Pulen Carilo Chiricano Yilo Mayo, and any child distract, and a chalaman and a cabinet, Tujugulo, Yilo and Kamanan Kaba, Tabarajo, Najim Pone, Penway, Marwan, Carre regular chapel, and not Katapan, and other Bagayor Chilu, Najim Marigulo Cabiju, and it makes your way all even Milligan Garabo young man, Yojakin net book. Okay, thank you, Jamie. Those are really good tips for the parents. And my next question now is tips for students or strategies for school work success as far as the students. So if we can talk a little bit about that.
The main thing for the students to remember is that what they've practiced at school is going to continue every day that they are remote. And so if they've been doing Seesaw or Google Classroom at school, then they will continue to do that at home. And so they need a plan for what they can do if they are confused, if they have questions. So maybe there's a parent at home, an older sibling, how they can connect with their teacher. Their teachers want to help, and so reaching out to their teacher is usually one of the best things to do. And also just, is there someone in class with them, a friend from school, that they could also connect with? Sometimes as a mom, I will have my boys complete some of their lessons with a classmate. So we can call each other and have them work remotely together. The other thing for students is to commit to the work. So that means, okay, for an hour if I'm in high school, for 20 minutes if I'm in second grade. I need to get this lesson complete and then I can take a break. And a big piece is don't forget to turn in your work. Because a lot of times on the computer programs, students simply forget to press the right button to turn in their work.
Okay.
So just a few tips.
Thank you, Jamie. You got catch the given karain ganchi the tips aware in home. Ribu romarong kajarbalim. Ana pen maner kawani kata kwairem even dolar toni kata kwairem. Meno mane ba planet ako kone mane alang mo kwetcha lupun malale. Meno montada gai chino tapi pension rigula gai pilo klaj ruma kon malale ta o kwet mane ba konwa yidok ngalo kabiju nene wa magiya go kwajala ta kon kamane chala porngai ko kalo juan matamo ko mi ro kone agam late kan kata kaina mi ro kachi do gipenchina mom chama maga e o mi rutolo jan kwe kachi do gipen ragio kachi do gipen klaj me de ara mi rim ko berong evan kachi do chibana janir meneo ya rutta da kollukun kamet kollukun lelo amangan kata kaina mom kata yok chongano na amnaro em ponja melologun bartoni ni olep kata kaina me ko kamani bechediyen ajiri red kamaner kata melologun chibere padini me red evan toni ni olep kata kaya Hemo jangan oleh pokon konya ingdanim komunikata ko amin yang lamay nalalahun to ni baran radio amin lowi. So thank you, Jamie. Also, our very last topic that we're going to cover for today is the mental health or physical activity. Mental health resources. Can we talk about that a little?
Yes. So, and I think that they're connected, that when we're taking care of ourselves, maybe when we get out of our house and exercise, take a walk, that mentally our emotions and our thinking improves. And so for parents and students, we want to have that idea of taking breaks from our screens. And then as parents, we can model for our students how we're processing, how we're doing every day with our emotions, and saying simply, I feel confused today. I'm not sure what's going on with my job, or I noticed that you're frustrated with your math. Can I help you? So taking some breaks, but then also modeling for our students what it is that we as adults are thinking and processing through. Another thing for families is to take advantage of any time your student is learning remote. It's a great opportunity for them to cook, to learn some traditions from your house. Maybe you have a special dish that you like to cook together, and even doing chores. Doing chores can be a big mental lift for your students, your children, because they start to take that responsibility, especially if they're home. And then if your students like to draw or paint, any type of art activity is wonderful. For physical, there's also Go Noodle. Your elementary students know Go Noodle. It's free videos that they love to run around and exercise to. As a family, you can go outside and take walks, and perhaps think about, for your own family, when could there be some times where there would not be any televisions or looking at phones or using the computer. Perhaps once school is finished, then we take a walk, and then after dinner there's no screens. And so the more that we use this time to connect with our students, we can grow just strong families during this time.
Thank you, Jamie. Ria mi kachi the gipani gichen, kana yajiri rain pello, focus lo kamanika the kaina rilo manchugulam, amaj kilo parmugo mayerum, Chedian game are only going to rain here, rilo kalna wajana wire, Ramano Relgun, Talim Lugun, I would pray Jantari and Kamanile, and all the age mentally local Navajan. Emre teacher Ranya boy, Ranja Pai Pero man. And screen gairum komani kaza kair which the engarajai with break right with chew the one nabajalum pelen war where they are valing age up a magdulong my white break again screen air him pulling in air prize at Tagailolamana kair Parkamani chatway home than Jamie Page. Kaj another barche chinerum chinerge chajai wujin barchala gajan ido hum kanono pergan taga rekamani lo kada kayairum and all the involved with perum chibang airway ranja pajlukun ni mojonally train him lukun and all the dalam raban marong lamanak chimayaga pogerum wog peranga komarong aga and then kachiong ngayoran paj pamili na amrezi kain anime Konan cherry pair warren par Ranja Paj Pogo de Locada Kailo computer Rabardo par company ye came family amril and no pair and out Pogo Virgin screen company purchase when home Raban by Lukun and all of Managio Kada Kairam Kalamalajan Gairil Gunovara and we are over 2 and pro river co noodle Rajalajari rain Najiri air Kujong lali lo manchul gamit e kalangan ercha the activity goramarong company magdugud parainot pamli lo air ko by pendronum kampi di pendronaga kwan kamane po enchap pajali bien garai kalibjek screen go airam talabona go airam aga enor yen nganair ruwajangan na boy pami waji pendronum kanono kon tagin rekada takada kay rekamani why when again boy enjabalak mojair atan kamani kada kay na irgay rabar chibedo chuan bar electronic device and talabonu nam kalimijagay agar ren orienate take a break rupun mole away jajay kujin chibang ron boy ilo archibang ajiri rain najirilo ay perilo kabiju gunene away Ejabar kamane borren dan idogulimo yer orai idogulimo kamani kata kainer ragi reiner meron cheperi jana kwaber mo chibe ngayer boy elginer kamani kata kainer lo mo borren jepajilu punchela kalama la hojan ho waira ran magudum take pray janta ren kamani mo meno go gain chakanan bar kakimi mi kajilo anajiri rein nejir perilo chugul kat rumo do lejan mo meram jap very low chicken chocola, Raja Kada Hochen, tips. So I want to thank you, Jamie, because I think we pretty well covered what was on our agenda to look at as far as helping our kids and parents as well. Jangan kamu lola oleh kanairgar, perjinum roja, jangan kamu lol Jamie. And I thank you for all that you do for students, our students, and parents as well.
Thank you.
Yes, we are going to pause here, and hopefully what we've covered today, students and parents can learn a lot from it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.